You're a fraud, and it's no secret you didn't raise him. At my son's school piano recital, a sharp whisper cut through the air. You're a fraud. Everyone knows you didn't raise him. My gaze stayed fixed on Jake, his fingers gracefully navigating the keys. The woman beside me, Brad's mom, wasn't finished. Must be nice. Swooping in to play hero after someone else did the real work. I'd heard the murmurs before. Single dad adopts kid at 10? Clearly overcompensating. The story wrote itself. A man in his 30s, no wife, suddenly has a son who calls him dad, but looks nothing like him. They probably imagined I'd bought him online. Jake concluded his piece, Chopin's Nocturne in E-flat. He'd mangled it for 3 months straight until a week ago when everything suddenly clicked. He found me in the audience and beamed. I returned our signal. 2 thumbs up, pinky extended. A gesture his therapist suggested when traditional praise felt too overwhelming for him in that first year. As applause faded and parents began moving to the hallway reception, I reached for my jacket. A hand clamped onto my arm. We need to talk, Brad's mom declared, not alone. 3 other parents formed a tight semicircle, blocking my exit. About Jake. What about him? I asked, a chill beginning to settle in my chest. Listen, another mom, sporting a Jesus fish bumper sticker, chimed in. We're not judging, but some of us think you should be honest about your situation. Where his real parents are. Brad's mom interjected. It's confusing for the other children when you pretend like you're his actual father. I'm not pretending anything. But adoption at 10 years old, she scoffed. That's not raising a child. That's just showing up at the end. The others nodded profoundly. I noticed Jake's music teacher, Mrs. Chan, watching from the doorway, but she didn't interfere. You didn't teach him to walk, the Jesus fish mom continued. You didn't go through the sleepless nights, the terrible twos, the first day of kindergarten. You just picked the easy part, Brad's mom finished. And now you get all the glory at recitals and parent-teacher conferences while someone else did the actual parenting for a decade. I was about to retort when footsteps sounded behind me. What's going on? Jake appeared, still clutching his sheet music. His face held that carefully blank expression he'd mastered during his initial year with me. The one that meant he was absorbing every word, cataloging it for later. Nothing, buddy, I said, trying to steer him away. Let's grab some of Mrs. Chen's cookies. But Brad's mom wasn't done with her performance. Honey, she cooed to Jake, using that saccharine voice adults employ when they believe they're being gentle. We're just saying your real family did the hard part. The people who raised you before. Jake's fingers tightened on his sheet music, crinkling the edges. He studied her for a long moment. When he spoke, his voice was steady, clearer than I'd ever heard it in public. My real family is standing right here. Brad's mom smiled patronizingly, as if addressing someone very simple. Sweetie, that's not what we mean. We mean your actual parents, your biological. I know what you mean, Jake cut her off. He's the one who sat with me every night when the nightmares got bad. When I'd wake up screaming because I thought I was still in that house. He learned sign language before I did. Spent 6 months taking classes at the community college, so I wouldn't feel alone when I couldn't talk. When my voice just stopped working, the hallway had gone completely silent. Other parents were turning to watch. He's the one who bought me the piano, Jake continued. Even though we lived in a studio apartment and it took up half the space. He's the one who drove me to therapy 3 times a week for 2 years. He's the one who never once made me feel like I was broken. Brad's mom had gone stark white. You didn't realize my dad's a CPS investigator, Jake said, his words falling like stones. He didn't adopt me because it looked good. He didn't adopt me because he wanted to play house or get praise at school events. He looked at me then back at her. He adopted me because he was the one who kicked down the door and carried me out. The silence that followed was palpable.